Now you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
There's a famous scene in Happy Gilmore that's lived rent-free inside the minds of fans for years now, and it just kind of happens suddenly in the movie. In the scene during the climax of the movie, Happy Gilmore is facing off against Shooter McGavin in the PGA Tour. Happy gets run over by a car hired by McGavin to take him out, and while not critically injured, Happy loses his ability to hit his specialty long-range balls. Just when all seems lost, Happy finds the motivation to continue playing, and then this happens.
Happy, the gold jacket's yours. Shoes gonna choke.
Now, even in the context of this video, the scene is very strange. And if you've seen the movie, a lot of questions start popping in your mind. Who is that? Why do we never see him again? Why is it so badly acted? And while it's not one of cinema's biggest mysteries, there has been a decent amount of talk online about the scene in question. While looking around trying to find out who this man was, I read many comments saying that it was an uncredited role, which didn't make much sense to me since speaking roles usually get their name in the credits. I also read some comments that said the man won a Subway or Pringles contest to be in the movie. Subway, of course, makes sense. So after reading around for a while, my first thought was to just go to the credits, see if he actually is uncredited. I looked up some of the smaller roles, looked up their names, and I couldn't really find any pictures for some of them, so I was still stuck. But then after looking through the credits, I went back to a YouTube video, and I saw this comment here. Frank Frazier, 1960-2000. Also played a bouncer in the movie Saving Silverman, R.I.P. And then below it, there was some arguments as to when Frank died, and that was pretty much it. It said he was born in Tampa, Florida, died in North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And if this information's true, then he was credited right here. But after searching his name, I couldn't find anything else, other than, like the comment said, he played a bouncer in the movie Saving Silverman.
Hey, time for an attitude adjustment, mister.
And that's where I thought the story kind of just ended. People wanted to know who he was. This comment said it was Frank Frazier, along with some other comments. And that was it. He played a bouncer in another movie. And, there's not much else to it. Which I thought was kind of sad because people have been talking about this scene for decades. And just knowing the guy's name, I guess it's fine, but we don't really know what else is behind him, how he got the role, or anything else. But just out of morbid curiosity, I decided to look up his obituary. After a few quick Google searches, I found it. Frazier, Frank Papa, born June 15th, 1960. Passed away suddenly in North Vancouver, British Columbia on November 23rd, 2000. Papa will be sadly missed by his daughter Alika of Maple Ridge, two stepchildren, Paris and Shelley, his mother Leola, brothers James, Kenneth, and Samuel, all of Miami, Florida, great-grandmother Pearl of Miami, Florida, as well as a host of aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews, and many friends from Tampa, Vancouver, Miami, and South Carolina. Frank attended high school in Tampa at Hillsborough High Tech. He graduated from the University of Miami in 1980 with a degree in education. Pretty standard stuff, nothing out of the ordinary for an obituary. But wait. Frank began his professional football career with the San Francisco 49ers in 1980. He then played with the Oakland Invaders, Oklahoma Outlaws, and Tampa Bay Bandits. Oh yeah, and he also won the Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins in 1990. Excuse me? He played in the NFL? Not only that, but he won a Super Bowl? As you can assume, when I found this, it was a shock to me. But that didn't make much sense to me because I looked it up and the Redskins didn't win the Super Bowl in 1990. The San Francisco 49ers did. So once again, I began searching, and this time with football in mind.
Michigan Panthers not being as alert, getting fooled by that reverse. Gotta pay attention, getting to this ball game quickly. That's DeRozan. Big hit, fumbles the football. Oakland still got it.
He really took a lick at the 2-yard line when it looked like he was going to get in for the touchdown. John Arno, the free safety, really nailed him. Frank Frazier covers the ball, and Oakland keeps it.
Rookie out of Iowa really stuck him, knocked the ball loose. I thought there were enough Michigan Panthers around where any one of them could have fallen the ball. And
this is footage of Frank Frazier on the Oakland Invaders. And when looking online, we can see all the teams Frank played for. And sure enough, right there, it says Super Bowl winner. And we can see his fumbles right here for the Invaders. Now, Frank went undrafted to the NFL out of college, so went on to play for minor league teams. But in 1987, there was a strike with the NFLPA, or the National Football League Players Association. So some of the games were predominantly played by replacement players, Frank being one of them. So Frank made the Redskins team, and they won the Super Bowl that year. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a picture of him on the team, and there's another player here wearing his number. You can even see that on the roster, both him and the player have the same number. I'm not sure what that's about. I read somewhere that during like preseason, players will have the same number, but then it switches during the regular season. So if you know anything about the player numbers and how that works, just let me know in the comments. It also got me thinking that if he played professionally, he would have had to play in high school and college. So looking back on his obituary, I looked at the yearbooks for the schools he attended, and I found some pictures of him. The biggest question I'd have was, why did the obituary say 1990 for the Super Bowl when it was 1987? My guess is they knew Frank won a Super Bowl, but they couldn't really look it up or know when it was, so they just approximated it. Now, as for how he got in the movie, I don't really know. The rumor was that there was a contest from Subway, and it could be true, but I couldn't find anything online about it. I even searched for newspapers and looking up keywords, but there was nothing. I even reached out to some of the people who worked on the film, but surprisingly, they didn't want to talk to me. So what did we learn? Well, not that much really, but I thought it was fascinating how one scene of a man could take us down a rabbit hole and explore his life. It wasn't just a random man rooting for Happy in that scene. It was Frank Frazier, a husband, a father, a professional football player, and Super Bowl winner, who maybe won a contest to be in the movie. And although we can't answer the question right now about how he got the part, I think it's just as cool figuring out who this mysterious man was and shedding some light on a scene that captivated fans for decades.